The following is an exclusive original presentation of the 252 ESPN Radio Network.
The drive starts right now.
Starts right now.
Just living the dream.
Here's a guy who gets paid to talk.
Are you ready for the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment?
No, he didn't. Doing a radio show, so what? The most anticipated radio show ever.
1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3!
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Isn't everybody having a fantastic Monday? God knows I am. Having the best day ever. Sam Avalos.
I'm not
Happy
having
Monday.
I'm having a terrible Monday for completely different reasons, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, at length today. But
I know exactly where you're headed.
I'm shook. I'm shook. I'm rattled to my core. I don't think I've ever been angrier. I don't think I've ever been more furious about any one thing in my life. I don't know what I've spent the last decade doing. I don't know why I've wasted so much time over the last 2 weeks catching my girlfriend up on the Avengers movies, but everything crumbled to the ground yesterday. And
as you watched Infinity War.
Yes, and I am not enjoying my Monday like you. Yeah.
We will discuss Infinity War, and we have to warn everybody out there that has not seen it, that has some desire to see it, that does not want, they do not want us to spoil the movie. But I'm going to tell you it's going to happen at some point today. We will warn you ahead of time when it's going to happen, probably about the start of the 4 o'clock hour, and it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've already watched it, that means you get to join the exclusive club of all the crazy talk that's going to happen.
Right.
Now, that is when the headlines are scheduled. But because Carolina, we've also sucked her into these superhero movies. And we really want to get some feedback from her.
Right.
So that's when I want to kind of hold off on talking about that until then. Can you do that?
I can do that. That'll be fine.
Has it been an obsession since you watched it, since the end of it? And again, without spoiling anything at the moment.
I spent all night, going through Reddit and different fan discussion forums and stuff like that. I've been looking at upcoming schedules, and
right.
I have a real beef and a real problem with Marvel right now.
Yes. So very much want to warn you, we will be spoiling Avengers Infinity War
at length
on today's show. That will happen. So look forward to that. We got Brian North on the show today. Mm-hmm. News Channel 12, Fox Eastern Carolina's very own. We usually have him on Fridays. That's going to continue to be the football season standard. And we are actually glad to have him on Monday because who better to talk, kind of recap, especially when we're coming off ECU baseball weekend, walk-off to win the series against Cincinnati. We'll talk to Brian North about that, and we'll ask him about superhero movies. Okay. And speaking of superheroes, Tiger Woods at some point. But
you're not really going to make us talk about it. You're not going to make us do the Tiger back talk, right?
No.
Okay.
I think somewhere, though, there's some, maybe, is it in the headlines, maybe? What I did want to say was I don't want to ruin this because this whole segment was really designed to just for me to express how unbelievably thrilled I am. Now, listen, I tell you, if you tuned into this show for the first time and you're expecting like hard-nosed, analysis without fandoms being involved, I think you've come to the wrong show. I mean, I think we're going to give you some of that without question. But understand this. I am a Celtics fan, okay? So when I'm talking to you about the Celtics, I want you to know that honestly because I think it's fair because a lot of people are fans of teams and then they give you the analysis, but then they hide behind this, well, I'm just being an unbiased sports journalist. But we all know that's crap.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, if you tuned in last week, you heard us talking about this and did not I was going to go originally Cavs in 7.
Right.
But that's because LeBron James is LeBron James. He's been to the finals many years. Preconceived notions. But you guys, after talking, and listen, I love this team. I can't see them clearly. They are the team that I root for. But and so we all picked the Celtics. Mm-hmm. We all picked the Celtics to win this series. And I thought about that going into it on Sunday. And I said we're going to see, how ridiculous we look. Now, remind you, this is classic overreaction. We're going to also talk about how it's only one game. You got to win 4 of them. But, wow. Listen, I am blown away, people, at what I saw. When I tell you I am blown away, I cannot begin to describe to you that in my wildest dreams, thinking about the Celtics winning, no way could I have entertained that was going to happen. That not only were they going to win, they were going to blow them out and hold LeBron James to like 15 points and 7 turnovers.
Right.
Like, what? What? Who wrote this? This was like allowing me to determine the outcome of the game. In my wildest dreams, Sam, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it coming.
Well, I think you're supposed to give a lot of credit to Brad Stevens, obviously, because I think, once again, we've seen that he knows how to game plan perfectly, better than anybody, and have his guys execute that game plan. But you mentioned overreaction, and this is where, the Celtics great at home, whether 8-0 already, these playoffs.
That's insane.
At home. But LeBron James, historically, in game ones, is bad. And that's what, in his post-game press conferences yesterday, was basically saying, like, he was referencing, this isn't college basketball. This isn't single elimination.
Yes.
LeBron's been here before. LeBron is patient, cool, collected. He is fine. I don't think we're going to see another game where LeBron has 15 points and 7 turnovers this series. Now, we might, if Marcus Morris keeps living up to what he said he is and being the perfect player to defend LeBron James, and he showed that off yesterday. If Marcus Morris can continue to play like that, if they can continue to get all the support that they're getting from everybody else night in and night out in that Celtic green uniform, then yeah, this is going to be. I had Celtics in 5, and after yesterday, I feel silly for not predicting the sweep. But LeBron James, I think, has lost like 16 game ones in his career. It's 14, it's 16, it's something like that. So he's been here before. He knows it. But I'm so torn between should we have been surprised or should we have really just not been surprised, because what we thought about this Cavs team all along is, okay, they have LeBron James, and that's it. Everybody who picked the Cavaliers wasn't picking the Cavaliers. They were picking LeBron James. But you have a Celtics team that we know plays perfectly balanced. We've seen them now twice in the playoffs just look phenomenal. I mean, obviously a tough series with the Bucks, but they handled business whenever they needed to. They embarrassed the Toronto Raptors. And despite not having Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, Brad Stevens has shown that he can take whatever he has and, introduce his game plan, and it's going to work out just fine. So I don't know if shocked is going to be the word we should use here, but I don't know. The thing that excites me most about this series is I'm ready to just watch how LeBron James handles it all. If he does the classic LeBron, let me sort of throw my teammates under the bus and say, because that's what we see from LeBron often is, well, what do you expect from me? Look who I'm out here playing with. Does he sort of take the responsibility onto himself, and does that translate onto the basketball court where we see these 45-point triple-doubles that we sometimes see from LeBron in the playoffs, or does he kind of just shrink up, blame his teammates, and pack his bags for Philadelphia?
Yeah, because I try not to overreact. It is one game. Yes, historically not good in game ones. He even, mentioned that. In fact, let's play some of the audio. Assuming that it works.
I've been down 0-1. I've been down 0-2. I've been down before in the postseason. But for me, there's never no level of concern, no matter how bad I played tonight with 7 turnovers, how inefficient I was shooting the ball. Just as confident going into a series, no matter if it's a 0-0 series or I'm down 0-1. So we have another opportunity to be better as a ball club coming in Tuesday night, and we'll see what happens.
So, again, there's a couple of takes on this. One, he did look lethargic. Now, he said, and I think I have this audio, and I think you were talking about this. He was feeling this game out, and he said, "I historically feel out that first game." But it was a weird LeBron last night. No intensity, almost absent of.
No, I've seen every coverage pretty much. And for me, game one has always been a fill-out game for me. If you ever followed my history, so I got a good sense of the way they played me today, and and how I play going into game two.
I just don't understand that as a feel-out game, though. I understand what he's saying, a feel-out game, but
Yeah.
it's a feel-out game. Okay, we're gonna get our butts kicked by 25 points. Like, to me, if I'm feeling that out and that happens to me, then what I have just felt out is, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to the next round.
Yeah, and the other thing I take off of it, the Cavaliers really thrive off of shooting a lot of 3-pointers, and when they don't, and they shot, what was it, 4 of 26?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did not hit a single 3-pointer in the first half.
That was, to me, a huge part of it. They got in a hole, and you and I have talked about this. They're not built to come back from deficits. I don't think that they're built to come in. And at one point, I was impressed. They cut it down, I think, to about 13 or maybe even 12 from where at one point it was a 30-point lead. A 30-point lead. And I just think at some point they just seemed very defeated. And as I was telling you, that was the lethargic LeBron, that I hadn't seen that in a long time. I know he said it was a feel-out game, but I have this whole chord for you, man. I set that right there. I should have talked to you. It's all good. It's all good.
We have a new studio set up, and it's
driving you crazy.
It's driving me absolutely.
I don't know what's
freaking
driving
crazy.
you crazier, Avengers or the
Yeah,
studio.
I'm super
remake.
angsty and on edge today because of this setup. I can't lean my chair back. It's killing me.
It's driving you crazy. We're and again, good news is it's not permanent.
Right. Yes.
So
Under construction.
you got something for us?
Yeah, and I think people have probably heard this clip throughout the day today, but I think it's one that needs to be heard because I don't know if I want to make fun of LeBron for this. I don't know if I want to say LeBron's kind of a jerk for this or if I am blown away and super impressed by LeBron James. But there's a late run. I think you mentioned that the Cavs had sort of gotten the game maybe a little bit closer to a potential turning point where it thought they could get back into it.
Right.
But then the Celtics went on a little bit of a run here, and a reporter after the game asked LeBron James about that particular run, and LeBron James just rattled off the most incredible photographic memory recount of what happened in this late Celtics run.
We ran him the first possession. We ran him down all the way to 2 on the shot clock. Marcus Morris missed a jump shot, followed it up. They got a dunk. We came back down. We ran a set for Jordan Clarkson, and he came off and missed it. They rebounded it. And we came back on the defensive end, and we got a stop. They took it out on the sideline. Jason Tatum took the ball out, threw it to Marcus Smart in the short corner. He made a 3. We come back down, missed another shot. And then Tatum came down and went 94 feet, did a Euro step, and made a right-hand layup timeout.
That's phenomenal.
I mean,
that right there is absolutely phenomenal, man. I mean, that was impressive.
yeah, I mean, he went through, I think it was about 3.5 plays essentially. And I was watching a video earlier where they overlaid LeBron James doing the recount with the actual video, and it is scary how much it times up and syncs up perfectly. His cadence, he could have been doing the play-by-play, but the fact that's what's so impressive about LeBron James, and I guess that's kind of what gives people, those LeBron fans out there, those LeBron supporters out there, it's that. You always hear about his high basketball IQ. It's that makes you think, like, okay, LeBron can figure this out. Because when he went and laid down in bed last night and he was thinking back into this game, he remembers play by play, instance by instance. Okay, Marcus Smart in the short corner off the inbounds pass from Jason Tatum. He remembers every little minute detail, and that is what's going to help him to maybe make some adjustments here. But look, basketball's all about matchups. We know that.
Yes.
The one matchup that's not getting enough credit in this series, and the matchup that is going to be the most important, and the matchup that is so largely in favor of the Boston Celtics, is Brad Stevens versus Tyronn Lue. Brad Stevens arguably, I think one of the greatest
Yes.
coaches already that we've ever seen in the NBA, and Tyronn Lue, who is nothing but LeBron James's puppet and is an absolute dog bleep head coach and the worst NBA head coach to ever win a championship. That's the matchup that we're going to pay attention to. That's the matchup that's going to put the Celtics firmly ahead of LeBron and the Cavaliers.
And it's interesting that your thoughts on Lue, and I don't think that you are exclusive in your belief of his coaching abilities. There are a lot of critics, but now when it is all said and done, I think he has the best record 50 games into the playoffs. He and like Pat Riley or something like that. After 50 games, Lue and Riley, best playoff record as coaches.
Doesn't count. That's not the same.
But
it's not the same.
I know. But as I said, it's
Pat Riley's the Godfather. Tyronn Lue is
yes.
Like the second grip on the set of The Godfather.
We will talk some about. There's so much to discuss on that. Plus, we got the Western Conference Final tonight. That's going to be on here right here on 252 ESPN Radio tonight. NBA Countdown starts at 8:00, and tip-off I think is set for 9 p.m. James Harden and the Rockets hosting the defending NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors, tonight. So we will definitely talk some basketball, but we got to get a break in. Because coming up, News Channel 12 and Fox Eastern Carolina's Brian North joins us next.